Hey everybody, so someone asked in the last viewer's comments video if I was being paid by the Chinese amp manufacturer Joyo, and this was my reply.
Full disclosure, Glenn, is Joyo paying you?
Not this week. I don't fucking get it why people think they can ask me questions about how I make a living. By the way, hit up my Patreon at patreon.com/SMG. Thank you so much for your support. Well, apparently the joke was lost on a few of you because I got this.
Glenn, didn't the ASC start requiring disclosure earlier this year? Something similar has been in effect for a while in the US, so yeah, it is our business if you're being compensated for endorsing gear.
Okay, just to be clear, this is the definition of sarcasm. The use of irony to mock or convey contempt. Those of you who have been following the channel for some time might have noticed that I use this particular method of speech on occasion. The reason this particular motif is used is because something is so glaringly obvious, yet seems to be lost on a few. The law states that yes, I have to disclose if I'm being paid or if I have received an item in lieu of said payment. And I assure you that I am in compliance with the law. This episode of Spectre Sound Studios is brought to you by the French Guitar Cookbook. Now, I know the vast majority of you guys get it, so I apologize for having to spell it out. In all seriousness, when it comes to direct sponsorship, I try to stick to education, promotion, and tools. I've had some great sponsors over the last couple of years, and I always put that right in the beginning and announce it proudly. I really love doing the education stuff, whether it be the French Guitar Cookbook, Nail the Mix, or Pro Mix Academy. Those are all about increasing skills, so I am always thrilled about doing those sponsorships. I'm even going to be working with a recording college later this summer. Oh yeah, by the way, this week Pro Mix Academy is having a 40% off sale on all lessons. So if you've ever wanted to mix MOTORHEAD, GALAKTIKON, or take any of the recording courses, grab them now. The link is in the description below. So anyway, when it comes to gear manufacturers, I rarely take cash, and when I do, I make sure to announce it and put a proudly sponsored by in the video description. And there has definitely been a few cases where someone has sent me something I simply can't part with. The Roswell mics come to mind. The Mini K47s blew me away so much, I had to buy them. But when somebody sends me something, I always make sure to state, they sent me this. As a rule, if someone sends me an item, I only make a video if I think it has some value to the viewers. There's been more than one occasion where someone sent me an item and I've had to send it back, especially if it's been sent by a small business. If there's something wrong, I'll try to talk to the manufacturer and resolve any issues, because the last thing I want to be responsible for is putting a small family-run business out of business. The bigger companies can obviously take a hit, hence the cab clone and spider reviews. And hopefully those reviews lead to better products somewhere down the road. They just won't be sending me review units anytime soon. And that's a price I'm willing to pay because you guys deserve some honest reviews. But I will tell you this. I had one recording interface manufacturer try to set something up with me that was completely ridiculous. They wanted a review done in 30 days, wanted to control what I said, and wanted to charge me if I went over the 30-day limit. Of course, I told them that's completely unacceptable, and they wanted to renegotiate with me, but frankly, it really just left a bad taste in my mouth. There is no way I'm gonna go on camera and spew a bunch of company-controlled bullshit. That's just not me. I'm not gonna say who it is, but they haven't been on my show yet, and I have had an awful lot of interface manufacturers on the show, and all of them have been fantastic people to work with. Draw your own conclusions. Now, as far as Joyo is concerned, I met them in Frankfurt and I think they're really cool people. I think they've got a really great bang for the buck thing going on, so yeah, I think there's some benefit to featuring them on the show. Obviously, the Mjolnir amp isn't going to compete against a Rev, but it is a real tube amp for a very reasonable price. I understand a lot of you guys don't have a lot of money to throw around. Their pedals are great, they're cheap, and they're a lot of fun. And if you break one, you just replace it. And you've still got money left over versus the cost of buying a pedal from a boutique brand. But the one thing I'm looking forward to is the dual clones, because it is a new design. They call it a multipath amp, but the rest of us would call it an analog modeler, as it literally rewrites its circuit via relays. It's one of the coolest things ever, and I can't wait to feature it on the show. And yes, they sent me a whole bunch of stuff in case we didn't make that clear in the Joyo unboxing video. Now, one thing I'd really like to do is a video over the Joyo factory and show you guys how they build amps. Believe me, I know there's been a lot of reservations about buying music gear from China. The quality 10 to 15 years ago wasn't that great and it really hurt their reputation. These days, though, things have improved and I'd love to show you. If you guys would like to see a Joyo factory tour video, leave a comment below and I can bring those comments to the manufacturer, because I think we'd all like to see how they build these things. Now, it's quite apparent you guys want brutal honesty in your gear reviews, because the ultimate question is, should I buy this? And an honest review should help you answer that. That being said, I do want to do more fearless gear reviews because they're completely self-funded. I know a Blackstar review has been a big request by a lot of you guys, and I hope to get one on the show by the end of July. I was considering doing something with the company, but I've heard enough mixed things about them that I think an outright purchase is warranted, and we should put it through a real-world test. Now, what's going to fund those reviews is Patreon. That's what's going to keep Fearless Gear Reviews independent. So if you guys want to see more of those, please consider supporting my Patreon. I've got some very cool rewards coming up, including exclusive live streams, unique merch, and for the larger donations, I'm thinking on making the band tamps a reward. And for the really generous ones, Pro Mix Academy lessons and even bundles, as well as studio gear, including mics, interfaces, and even some high-end preamps. Seriously though, thank you so much for your support, and thanks for subscribing to the channel. I hope this clears things up a bit. I want to keep my reviews honest, and if one of my videos is sponsored, I will be sure to let you know.